Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Mindful Minute. I'm Gabby. I won't lie, I don't know if you guys heard my last episode where I kind of updated you on things. I feel like I haven't made a lot of time for myself over the past month or so because I've been so busy with a bunch of different things. I'm not going to get into all of it because if you really want to hear what I've been up to, you could check it out in the previous episode. But just to put it simply, I've kind of just forgotten that I had these routines to sort of keep myself in check, I guess is the right term to use. But, sometimes you forget about these things and sometimes you just don't pay attention to yourself, which is honestly not the greatest, and I wouldn't advise it for anybody. But today's episode is about developing a nighttime routine and how you can develop a nighttime routine. And I apologize if I've made this sort of episode before. I probably have. I think that it's still important to talk about, and I hope that it helps you sort of get back into, or maybe even start having a nighttime routine for yourself. So I'm gonna say that for me, my nighttime routine is pretty simple, but it also helps me to get a good night's rest. And I can say without a doubt that I love my sleep, but at nighttime it seems like I can't stay asleep for the amount of time that I need to get my full night's rest. And so I'll sleep for a couple hours and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't fall back to sleep, which is terrible. So I have incorporated a lot of these tips into my routine, and it helps me a lot because you need to take care of yourself, and you need to make sure you get good sleep, because when you're out and about, you're working, you're going to school, you have a busy day, and you just have lots of things going on in your life. It's like having a routine where it's just for you and it's just about you is really crucial and important. So the first thing I can say that you should do in order to really develop a nighttime routine is to sort of set a time before bed where okay, I don't want to work on this, I don't want to, focus on work or focus on anything too taxing. I just want to have this time before bed for me to just unwind and settle in to really sort of, like I said, have a good night's rest. For me, I really love going through my skincare, and I know that's not for everybody. If there's any guys listening, maybe you have a good skincare routine. I mean, I've been hearing a lot lately that a lot of guys have been starting to really pay more attention to their skin, take more care of their skin. Going through my skincare is really important for me because usually throughout the day, depending on what I have going on, there's a lot going on in your day, for anybody, not just for myself, but for anybody. And so coming home at the end of the day, regardless of what you've been doing, if you're at school, you're working, whatever, taking a nice warm shower to just kind of say okay, I've had a long day and now I just want to settle in, take a nice shower, relax. So going through my skincare, I do a cleanser or a face wash, and then I have my moisturizer. It's the St. Ives Collagen moisturizer, and it's really nice because the thing that I really love about my products is that they're not high in chemicals and fragrances, and the wipes that I like to use for my face, it's the Micellar Cleanser wipes. And at the end of the day, depending on what I have going on, I just like to clean it all off, all the products off my face. I really feel as though it's important to take care of your skin, especially before going to bed. Not just generally speaking, but before you go to bed. Regardless, like I said, what you have going on, your skin is really important and it needs to be taken care of. And I wish that someone would have told me that years ago, because I really only started thinking about my skincare routine when I was like 19 or 20. But before that, I didn't really know like what to do, you know? Of course I would do like masks and I would do face washes and things like that, but I really didn't get into the nitty-gritty of it. So definitely taking that time before you go to bed to unwind, work on your skincare is really important. The next thing I will say is meditating. On this podcast, you've heard me talk about meditation and how important it is, because when you meditate, it really does allow you to have that moment of silence where you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here. I want to be in my own little quiet environment for a little while. I don't want to interact with people. So that's the perfect time. And it doesn't even have to be right before bed, but since we're talking about a nighttime routine, Headspace is a great app that I highly recommend everybody download, because I use Headspace and I've been using Headspace since I was, I think, 19 or 20. And Headspace has a large variety of options to choose from. You can go through their guided meditations, their sleep, their soundscapes. They have guided meditations for sleep and focus music. So if you're studying or you're working and you just need some sort of like background, they have options for that. And I really love it. And again, you can carve out a time in your day even to just pause and say, okay, I need to meditate. I just need to take a minute to just, you know, get out of my head for a little bit. But at nighttime, I love to put on a guided meditation for sleep and just let it sort of guide me through, you know, helping me to unwind. So I highly recommend Headspace. And if you aren't really like crazy about Headspace, which is kind of sad because I love it, then you can also check out other apps like Calm. I'm sure they have a bunch of other meditation apps, but it's all about your own personal choice. And personally, I've always felt like Headspace was always the thing that worked for me. It's the thing that sort of always has helped me get through a lot of crazy, stressful days. So it's just my preference. But again, any sort of meditation app, you don't even have to use an app. You could just go on YouTube and type in guided meditations if that's what you want to do. So that would be my second thing. My third thing would be journaling, because personally, I love the idea of journaling. I love what it can do for someone, because I feel like sometimes there's those emotions that you can't always express out loud to people, or you can't really describe to people. And you want to be able to tell people that you love how you're feeling, but sometimes it gets really hard, and it's not always easy to put those feelings into words. Trust me, I've had those situations happen. And journaling can be a really healthy way for you to get out those emotions. You can write down whatever you feel like writing down. So before I go to bed, I love to journal and write down how my day went. What did I accomplish? What didn't I accomplish? And just sort of have that be my you know, my coping strategy. For me, I have anxiety and I get really bad panic attacks. And so journaling down how I sort of coped with it and sort of how or what happened is a great way for me to really reflect and say, okay, well, this thing did work or this thing didn't work. So journaling can be anything that you want it to be, and you can always look up like prompts that you can find and use those as guidance. What are we on? 3? Okay. I would say nighttime routines don't have to be crazy, but if you know that you have a lot going on in your day-to-day life, and I'm sure a lot of people do, after checking the I guess like the yearly wrap up for this podcast, It said that a lot of people that listen to this podcast are between the ages of 18 to 20 something, if I'm not mistaken. But those people are the people that are in college and going and transitioning to college, or even graduating from college and going on to other endeavors in their life. And I think a lot of the time, our schedules can get super crazy. I just started my new job last week, and I can tell you for sure that it does keep me busy. I work from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, and I love what I do, but at the same time, sometimes you just get so caught up in your head with all of the million things that you have to do throughout the day, and whether it's work-related, school-related, just personal life-related, sometimes you just sort of lose track of those things. So really getting yourself to unwind before bedtime is important. And I would say limiting screens, which is a really hard one for me because I have everything on my phone. I have all my audiobooks, my meditation apps. I have all of those things on there. So it's really hard for me to just say, okay, I'm going to put down my phone, because I really can't. And if you're in that sort of situation like me, I would suggest, finding like an actual book to read, or just finding a meditation app or going through a meditation app and sort of putting your phone somewhere else, like across the room, where it's not going to distract you. You're not going to want to reach for it in the middle of the night. But it's hard because in our society these days, being on our phones is a lot of the time what so many people do and what we like to do, because it's like, okay, well, FOMO. I feel like so many people, and I'm obviously one of those people in society that is usually on my phone. And it's hard when you want to do things and sort of step away from your phone. But for me, being blind, a lot of the things that I need to do and want to do involve me being on my phone. Like I said, my audiobooks, any games that I like to play. So it's really hard. But I don't know who has iPhones, but if you have an iPhone, you can set like the focus selection, where you basically set like do not disturb or sleep or work or any of those things. And I love to do that because at nighttime it sort of says, okay, 10:30, time to unwind. And it kind of like gives me that reminder. If you have an iPhone, I would recommend setting the focus so that you don't get distracted and that you have some time for yourself. And I was going to say the next thing on my list would be reading a book. I have been super busy with a lot of things, and I don't always get the chance to sit down and enjoy a good book, but I really cannot stress the importance of reading a book. And it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It could be something that you really love. It just needs to be something that you're going to enjoy. And if you're looking for book recommendations, you can check out my podcast episode called My 9 Books for Self-Care Books, or something like that, of that nature. I don't know. If you seem to not get enough sleep, if you feel like that's something that you struggle with, because I know that there's a lot of people that struggle with it, I highly recommend Celestial Seasoning Sleepy Time Tea. For Christmas last year, my friend she sent me 4 boxes of Celestial Sleepy Time Tea, and I love it. My mom tried it and it helped her so much, because we had bought melatonin, which sucks. I'm sorry to anybody that uses melatonin. I really do apologize. But it doesn't work for everybody, and that's fine. But, we had bought it thinking, okay, this is going to work for us, because sometimes my mom and I will both wake up in the middle of the night randomly. And I just felt like it wasn't working, and so the Celestial Sleepy Time Tea is honestly one of the best things that I think that does exist, because it really does allow you to get a full night's rest. And I always feel like I do get a full night's rest when I have the Celestial Sleepy Time Tea. So, try it out. I'm sure they sell them at like Target. Oh yeah, they do sell it at Target, actually. They sell it at Target and probably in any grocery store near you. I'm still learning about things that work for me, and I have found things. And the more that I learn things, the more that I will educate you and help you discover things for yourself that can benefit you. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let me know on Instagram at mindful.minute_. Again, that's mindful.minute_ on Instagram. Give me a follow, leave a comment, send me a message over there. Let me know what your favorite episode was, what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of, because I want to hear that feedback from you guys. It's important to me. And give me a follow, check out the post over there. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you, or you'll hear me / see me in the next episode. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. I just wanted to let you know that all of the music used throughout this episode was founded through Epidemic Sound. And I've been using Epidemic Sound for quite a while for all of my content creation needs over on my YouTube channel. Do you know what I love so much about Epidemic Sound? It's the fact that they have such a large variety of options to choose from their genres to their moods to their themes and to their large selection of sound effects. And I want to help you out. So if you want to start adding music and sound effects to your content but you don't know where to look, you can start by using my link in my bio over on my Instagram at mindful.minute_. Once again, that's mindful.minute_. No, this is not a sponsor, although I would love for them to sponsor me at some point. But I just want to shout them out because they're that amazing, and I want you to start incorporating their awesome variety of music and sound effects into your content. Because I know that it's hard when you're trying to become a content creator, or you are a content creator and you don't know where to look. Epidemic Sound has all of the things that you could ever need for your content. Check out my link over on my Instagram at mindful.minute_. And leave me a comment while you're over there and give me a follow and let me know what your favorite episode was by far throughout this podcast. What do you want to hear next?